NUCLEE-R apples and oranges. Well, this is to answer a question from a gentleman. He owns a lodge up there around Kotzebue, North Alaska. Wanted to see my material before he buys it. He's been in business 45 years. Never had to advertise. By the way, a lot of you people don't realize that the best lodges are sold up 2 and 3 years in advance and don't advertise. Anyway, this will also answer another question on what NUCLEE-R material is. We're going to get into one here. Number one, you're not going to see me taking pictures of a fish up on a boat, pulling it out of the water just to sell a product. If that's what it takes to sell a product to some people, I'm not going to do it. Alrighty, you cannot compare one material with another. That's kind of like comparing marabou with, well, let's just say marabou with feathers. Different characteristics. Now, ice wing fiber, hairline dubbing. Bob Borden does wonderful work with synthetics, also with some naturals. What NUCLEE-R emission wing is basically the same fiber. You see that as is pearl UVA. The only thing is mine's cut differently. It's thicker, also it's a wider cut, and there's a different cut pattern to it. Now, the reason mine is thicker is because if you put heat to this, it will turn simply into plastic. That's it. Exact same processor. Now you want to get into the popular one that in his catalog he tells you to carry a comb when you're fishing. Now, do a little quick test on this. It's a nice product. I'm not trying to run it down. And he's an excellent fly designer. I'm just going to show a couple things here. Number one is the test that a plastic processor taught me on find out what material is. I can tell you exactly what that is right there. Nylon. How do I know that? Well, there's an old gar fly that you make up without a hook. Use a barrel swivel, and you take a braided nylon rope. If it's not a nylon, it's a close cousin. Simply, that's all it is. Now, as far as working with, they actually came out with double-ended Ziploc bags for this material because you can't really get it back into this one because the processor didn't even put, think of, even though he has it, says made in America, packaged in Nicaragua, he didn't put electrical tie right there to hold it. Makes it easy to work with. But now, as for answering some of my questions on whether my patterns will work, from his catalog, this pattern speaks for itself. I am sure any game fish will go for it. Well, wait a minute. Here you have a material and fly manufacturer himself coming out with patterns that he hasn't even tried selling to distributors. Can I do that? Well, hell yeah, I can do that. Why? Because I got experience, just like he's got experience. Just like anyone that ties flies. They tie a fly up. You think they're going to experiment on materials they have themselves and not take it out and catch fish? Anyone can do that. If anyone thinks you got to have big pictures of big fish and then be a sportsman and release it like that, right there, you're going to pull a fish up on a boat, eat it. In my book, Alaskans call that catch and release, playing with food. Yeah, I let some fish back if they're a little smaller. if I'm going after king or silver for the freezer. Anyway, to get back into this here, you cannot compare any material to another material except for some qualities and all that. And you get looking at this is with the heat and without the heat. I've got this blended 50-50 so that when you put the heat to it, it turns iridescent, and it's just a little more better. It's pretty much, it's this fiber in a wider cut mixed in with a polyester, what people call Mylar. And if you're going to compare one product to another, which you cannot do, which one's shinier? Alrighty, that's all I'm going to say. Now, my products will be available on eBay. There are some people who don't like that, mainly fly shops. I've been banned from fly tying forums. Why? Because they are run by fly shops. Fly shops over the internet. Here's something most people don't realize. That when you buy from a, say like, most fly shops that sell over the internet, if you buy an expensive rod and reel, it's probably not coming from the fly shop, it's coming straight from the manufacturer, because they all drop ship now. They all started that a couple years ago, competing with the foreign products. But now as we're going to get into designing flies and everything else, well, I showed you what I can do and what flies come out for. Well, let's show you a couple other things that are going to be coming up. And to find my products, all you got to do is Google up NUCLEE-R flies. There's a Ghost Rider tandem. It's now son of a Ghost Rider. Look at that. Hey. And then we're gonna get into Ghost Posse. There we go, PC Posse. Have fun tying and fishing.